Now I'm going to be handling Dakota's feet. Again, this is all from her first session. This is just the third video in the session. So I've slid my hand down her foot and I'm just kind of putting pressure on her chestnut. She lifts it up and then I'm going to click and feed. There's many ways you can teach the foot lift to pick up a foot. This is the way I did it with her, just kind of normal. I'm just kind of pressing a little bit. I'll click and I'll let go at the same time. And then I'll give her a little bit of hay pellets, I think is what I have here. So she was really bad on her back feet were not great. Front feet were okay. I think her back right foot, she tried to kick the vet when she had her vet check. Not horribly, like she wasn't mean or anything. They were trying to flex her when I vet checked her, but she's not great with her feet, is what I'm getting at. So there, there is a lot of work that we need to do on her feet, but this is kind of the beginning stages. But that's just kind of a little bit of her background, and she's just young. She just doesn't know. Um, and she doesn't want her legs held up and pulled on, so she just kind of pulls away and pushes away. So, um, but I'm reaching down. Unfortunately, the fence is kind of in the way here, but I'm just kind of reaching down, slide my hand down, and apply a little bit of pressure. I'm letting go and clicking at the same time. So I'm not squeezing real hard. I'm just kind of touching on her chestnut. So kind of give her a second to chew. Might move her over here. I think I'm thinking about doing that other front foot or positioning my mounting block here. I'm not sure. I guess do a little bit more brushing here. But I think, yeah, she might just not want me back there because she keeps backing up once I brush past her shoulders, just like you saw in the previous video. So I need to take that into account. And I don't think I did at the time because this is something new. As I watch this back, I'm like, I don't remember this at all. But it's just that subtlety of her just kind of stepping back. And maybe it's just because I have the food and she wants to be near the food. That's definitely a possibility because she does come to my treat pouch. So that's just something to think about and pay attention to. And just like, I'd like to not stand still. I'd like to come see what you have over here. So I'm just letting her sniff the brush here. You just can't see. I'm just letting her see that. And I'm going to move her over here. That was actually really nice. She led really nicely off that halter pressure. So I do like that. That looks good. She's standing nicely there. So I should have worked on that separately, obviously. I'm going to click there while I'm brushing her hindquarters. There, that looks really good. And she keeps her head nice and straight a feet away from my body. That looks pretty good. But I should have broken that down. So I like see an issue with that where I'm brushing her and I can work on that. So I'm going to work down her hind leg here. Yeah, I'm kind of all over the place. That's probably why she doesn't understand what I want. That makes sense. I'm just going to pet down her hind leg and click her while my hand was on her hind leg, and then I'll come back up and feed her. I need to be a lot faster. I don't know why I'm making her stand with her head for that amount of time because she's being really good. I need to just go over there and feed her right away. But yeah, so I think part of this is definitely going to be I'm following you for the food. Um, so I think she's just kind of confused. And like now I would use like a cone to keep her to stand there. She does know the stay cue too, which I talked a lot about with the Mustangs. The stay cue is really handy and helpful and is very clear for them. Like, okay, I'd like you to stay here. Right here, I'm not being super clear. Like, she just doesn't know what I want. So, and that can be a little frustrating in the beginning because I'm trying to do something and she's trying to do something else. So. Um, there she's walking off. Not really sure if she wants to just kind of leave or if she's uncomfortable. Could be both. So I'm just going to kind of rub on her side here until she stands still. So go back down her hind leg. That was good. So she stood still and let me touch her hind leg. So I'm going to click and feed that. Go back down. Rub her all the way down. See if I can kind of move that hind leg, especially now since her toe is up. So I kind of got a little bit of lift there. I'm going to click and feed that. That was pretty good. And she's just kind of backing away still. I think she's just not very comfortable with the situation because I am trying to give her a treat. So I think it's the backing away is a mixture of she's looking for the food sometimes and she's trying to come for it, and then sometimes she's trying to leave because she's uncomfortable. So I think it's definitely a mixture of both. Like here, So I go to that back leg and she starts looking in the dirt. She's doing a displacement behavior. So she's not super comfortable with that. She's just trying to like, oh, no, this isn't happening kind of a thing. So we got to be careful with that. Like, I don't think she's going to do anything bad, but this looks like nothing, but it's actually something. See her nose in the dirt? She's just kind of looking around in the dirt. That's displacement behavior. She's uncomfortable with what I'm doing right now. So it's like the human equivalent of like popping your knuckles or holding a drink or looking on your phone, something like that, to just be like, like I'm kind of uncomfortable in the situation. I'm going to do something small to make yourself a little bit more comfortable. That's what that is. Calming signal, displacement behavior. The displacement behavior might be a little bit higher up than the calming signal as far as stress goes. Um, so just be kind of careful of those. And that one's very subtle for her, and that's something she does. So I'm just gonna kind of, I'm not gonna necessarily stay with her with my hand on her leg. Again, you can see her face is in the dirt. She's kind of uncomfortable with this, but I'm gonna keep my hand up on her hip until she stops. So I'm still touching her while she's moving around. So that's important. You don't have to necessarily touch and hold onto that leg, but just kind of touch her on the hip. It's a little bit safer. So then once she did stop, I could touch her on the actual leg and then I can click and feed her. So you see she wants to kind of walk away. She just doesn't really want those hind legs messed with very much. So I'm just gonna keep going with her here. Try and get my lead rope sorted. There we go. I should have clicked and fed right there. There we go. That's much better. So I can be very clear with, okay, that was good. I want you to stop and stand still. Again, that's way too slow. I need to just feed her. That's way too slow. So go back. I can click and feed right there. Yep, that was pretty good. Could have been a little bit faster, but that was actually really decent. So I can be a lot more clear. Like, I would like you to stand still while I move back and I touch you on the hindquarters and then the hind leg. Click and feed here. So I shouldn't be worried about trying to pick this leg up. See, this is too much for her. She starts to leave. I should have just clicked and fed for her standing still because we're still working on that. She wasn't comfortable with that. So as soon as I go to start moving that hind leg and picking it up, she starts to leave. So she would be leaving more if she didn't have the halter and lead rope on. So there, like I've picked up on that halter and like tried to hold her there. So that's not a great tool because she's trying to tell me I'm not comfortable, I'm not comfortable, I'm not comfortable. I need to go back and just work on me approaching those hindquarters and standing still.